Hi, so I wanted to make a recap of my month uh, doing DoorDash, UberEATS, Grubhub, Amazon Flex, Spark, and Roadie. I'm thinking I might do this like once a month, just kind of go over like how much I made for the month, the hours that I worked, just like just a recap. It's probably good for me too, just to kind of see how things went. And yeah. So this first spreadsheet is I have a video that talks about how I track all this stuff, but you're gonna have to go to that video if you want to see. That's not really what I'm doing here. So this first spreadsheet, I just have everything inputted all the income that I got from August of 2025. So you can see all the days that I've worked. In total, I made $4,179.41. That's gross revenue. As far as where the money came from, you can see here that 1,600 came from DoorDash, 972 came from Uber. P22 DoorDash and P22 Uber is Prop 22. That's a California thing. If you want to know, if you don't know how that works, I have a video on my YouTube channel on how that works. You see Grubhub, Spark, Amazon, and then some more Prop 22 and just a tiny bit from Roadie. Right here, you can see the percentage breakdown. So DoorDash is currently my number one app that I'm working for. They provide me with the highest number of orders and overall income. So 38% of my income is coming from DoorDash. 23% is coming from Uber. That's strictly Uber Eats. 15% is coming from the Prop 22 from DoorDash, 10% from the Prop 22 from Uber, and so on and so forth. Some smaller and smaller sources of income. Um, Now, if we go over to my hourly, this is something that I'm pretty stoked about from August compared to all of the other months this year. My gross hourly has increased about 10% to $32 per hour. Um, Year to date, uh, so I have my year to date income. My gross hourly year to date is $29.41. So that's about a 10% increase, I would say. Um, is it 10%? No, it's not quite 10%. It's a little bit less than 10%. But nonetheless, even if it's like 5%, I'm pretty happy about that because, you know, if you were to increase your income by 5% every month, you would have a lot of money. Um, Obviously, that's not realistic, but I'm still pretty happy about that. I'm not sure how accurate it is though, because I think in August, yeah, I did have a big Prop 22 stipend hit like on the third day of August. So I'm not sure how accurate that is, but I also had a large stipend just hit today. So technically every month I usually have a large stipend, or sorry, I'm saying stipend adjustment from Prop 22 hit like at the beginning of the month. And it kind of throws off the hourly, but I mean, if I'm kind of tracking pretty consistently, I think it's pretty reasonable. And I don't know if anyone's actually watching the video here, but this day right here where it says I was making $59 an hour, it was just one order, and I was just doing something else, and I just turned on my app, so it only took me 12 minutes, and I made almost $12 for 12 minutes, so that's not really how much I make, but yeah, so on this page, I keep track of the Prop 22 earnings, so that factors in to give me the gross hourly. As far as miles that I drove, for work specifically, I drove 1,500, let's say 56 miles. That gives me an average dollar per mile of 2.66. I did have someone ask me I made a TikTok about how my year-to-date earnings, and someone asked me how I keep my dollar per mile so high, my average dollar per mile. Um, I mean, for one, as you can see, like a large percentage of my income comes from Prop 22. So just Prop 22 alone is probably like 27% of my income. So we do have an advantage in California with Prop 22, but as far as other things that I do to try to keep Prop 22 high, obviously on Uber I cherry pick. Uber Eats I cherry pick a lot because they don't have platinum and all that stuff. I do maintain the platinum on DoorDash. I know like that's controversial, but um Uber Eats is a big one. And then also sometimes I'm stacking orders, DoorDash and Uber Eats. Actually, that's the main thing I wanted to talk about. I think the main reason why my gross hourly has increased this month compared to year to date, which is it's actually been my largest increase um over, I mean, shit, a long ass time. I haven't been able to really get a solid increase in income since uh until this last month. As you can see here, this is the gross hourly every month. I guess May says $34. I don't know if that's true. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, these numbers are kind of messed up. I don't know why my numbers are messed up. Or that might actually include the healthcare stipend, but most of the months I'm making somewhere around, okay, so there's 30, there's 30.10, there's 29.98, there's 26.80 May, 34, okay, yeah, 34.42 in May. I don't know if I had some like fucking healthcare stipend or something hit in May. Um, I don't know why my income's higher in May, but overall, I'm pretty kind of stoked that I'm really cracking that $30 an hour. Like one of my main goals for the year was to get north of 35 an hour doing deliveries, and that's starting to seem possible. And the main reason I think is because I'm starting to stack orders more. I used to not really stack orders because I felt like the customers would be upset, but I realized that a lot of customers are not really paying attention to the app, and a lot of orders that I'm doing are not that time sensitive. Like I had some diapers, excuse me. I had to deliver diapers today, and I mean, obviously, if they're ordering on DoorDash, they want them today, right? But it's not the same as like a McDonald's delivery where the fries will get messed up within like 2 minutes. So I've been trying to learn to stack more orders and make sure that I'm not like abusing the system, but if you have two orders at the same time in California with Prop 22, you're now making $40 an hour plus 70 cents a mile while you have two orders. I mean, if you were to be able to stack three apps at the same time, which gets pretty complicated, and it's unlikely that you'll actually find orders all going in the same direction. But now we're talking about $60 an hour and over $1 a mile in addition to that. So it can get really crazy if you if you're really stacking things properly and you're making sure you're staying within the regulations of the app. There's a you know there's potential to increase your income. I'm always trying to figure out how I'm gonna get to the next level. If I get to 35, I'm gonna try to get to 40. If that means that I gotta start doing catering, or if I have to get like a cargo van to start doing larger deliveries, I just want to, continue to improve. Whatever. So let's see. Yeah, that's good. So I did that. Oh, and I worked 129 hours. So that's what gives you the hourly. So technically, I worked less than full time. I took like a week off. So, I'm pretty happy with it. Oh yeah, my numbers are off here because this spreadsheet is saying that I made 41.79, and then this one was saying 41.36. So something's actually off. But yeah, I'll fix that later. It's not really a big deal. As far as expenses, I have a few apps that I have. Like um, I had Gridwise last month and Maestro. And then car wash, 23.99. Set aside $84 for the depreciation on my vehicle. I spent $145 on gas. I set aside 321 for maintenance. I spent $1.25 in parking, unfortunately. I had a $6 order that I paid for on Uber Eats that I didn't get reimbursed for, and I was just fucking tired. Sometimes I just can't. I just can't be bothered to fucking. They get on my nerves. I have a second line that I use for delivery, 25 bucks a month. I set aside $835 for taxes and $3.65 for my TurboTax that I purchased. I just put money aside. Um, these are the days that I worked, so these are days I took off, the first, the third, blah blah blah. I took vacation on this week or whatever. So I worked, I guess, a total of 13 days. I took six normal days off, and I took 7 vacation days. And so then when you come over to the calculator here, this is my profit calculator that I use every month to determine how much I'm actually taking home. So it has all the stuff from this spreadsheet is over on this spreadsheet. And so by the time you take away taxes and depreciation, it's maintenance and all that stuff, um, it looks like my net profit was $2,700. So nothing special really, like you take. I mean that's after when the taxes, I set aside 20% for taxes. I don't actually spend, like, they don't actually take away 20% for taxes. I usually get a refund because I oversave for taxes. So technically, I made more than 2,700. It might be closer to 3,000, but you know. And then maintenance, I'm doing things different from what most drivers are doing. Most drivers are probably gonna go, okay, 4179. And then they're gonna take out, like, I don't know, car wash. It, they're probably not saving for TurboTax, but let's say they have an app or two minus 15 bucks, and then gas 145 bucks, and then they're not even saving for like maintenance and stuff, like, and then taxes they might be setting aside like 10%, so like minus 400 bucks, and then they're gonna think that they're making like 3,600 bucks, but to me, I don't really like to do that. Um, for me, I like to save pretty aggressively. Like I said, I set aside off of 1,500 miles. I put aside altogether. I put aside about $400. That's to that's to save to pay for my next vehicle when this vehicle goes out, and it's also to make sure that I have money set aside in case something does break down, and also I use that money whenever I just need regular maintenance like tires and stuff. The money's already there. I just like to do it that way because um for me, the money that I take home to my personal account, because all the revenue goes into it, like my little business account. It's not really a business account, but the money that I take home to my personal account, I want to make sure that that money is like washed in a sense. Like it's clean money. Like it's not gonna need to be touched for work. Like there's the money's already set aside for maintenance. The money's already set aside to replace the vehicle. Everything's already taken care of completely. So by the time that money touches my personal bank account, it's no different than the money that you're getting from a W-2 job. That's like that was my intention when I started designing these spreadsheets, is I wanted that money to be clean. Like when it comes to my personal bank account, it should not be going to maintenance. It should not be going to anything because in my opinion, that money is not yours. The money that you're spending on maintenance, the money that you're spending on all this stuff, that's not yours. That's the cost of doing business. Like if you had a t-shirt company and you sell t-shirts for 20 bucks, but you buy t-shirts and you buy the t-shirts for 5, let's say that's your cost of goods. That $5, so when you sell them for 20 bucks, the 20 bucks is not yours. Only 15's yours. Obviously there's even more involved than just that, but you get what I'm saying. Like you have to consider that there's a cost to actually performing this service, to delivering shit to people. So, that's my lecture. Uh, um That's my month. I'll probably try to do that. Like I said, I'll probably try to do this once a month and see. Hopefully, if I could get to 33, even if I can get to 33 this month, that would be cool. One of the main things that I'm looking into right now is I need to figure out what the Walmart Spark policy is on late deliveries because Walmart Spark might be a great opportunity to start stacking orders where I could just accept a Walmart Spark order and then while I'm on the way, I'm looking for Uber Eats orders, looking for Grubhub orders, and taking those, which I actually did that shit today. I had a Walmart Spark and then I saw a nice little $9 mile and a half on Uber Eats. I took it. So that's it. That's what I did. Uh, you know, good luck.